Welcome once again to our session number 8 on how to develop, market, and sell your product or service as an entrepreneur or an employer. My name is Simon Mbuika Ekesi, for those of you who are joining for the first time. So as usual, we will start by going through our recap of what we have done so far for the sake of our new participants who have just joined us. This helps us to build up from there to go a step further, and also for those of us who have been a part of this program from the very beginning. People like my good friend, Mr. Siamasaka. I've also seen Mr. Kabuita. You have been so far very committed. It's for us just to oil our minds and remind ourselves of what we have done so far. You can see that as I'm seated, I'm seated with my products. The secret for marriage success, making the heavenly mathematics 1 + 1 = 1 a reality in your marriage. This being one of my products, and also the Employer in You series 1 as also one of my products. And like also I told you the last time we met, I was saying that right away, in fact, even what I'm sharing with you now on how to develop, market, and sell your product or service as an entrepreneur is also one of my products. And I am happily announcing to you, like I did the other time, that I have developed quite a number of products so far, which are in form of trainings and seminars, including workshops to be presented. As we go on, we will even go further into aspects of conferences, where we are able to have a conference, either online or both online and physical. So I am starting with this to communicate to you that I am not just giving you theory. Of course, theory is very, very important. You build on whatever you do based on theory. But I'm also giving you the practical side of what I'm talking on, how to develop, market, and sell your product or service as an entrepreneur or as an employer. Right. So again, like we have normally done, we do start with we normally start with our us going through an aspect of a recap, and we have been starting with a slogan. In fact, there have been 2 slogans that we have had so far. As we go on, there are more slogans that I have developed. And the first slogan is, do I own value to be exchanged for value in the marketplace? And we have been saying that I need to possess value to exchange it for value in the marketplace. And also the other slogan is, do I want to be wealthy on earth? And we have been saying that if I want to be wealthy here on earth, I have to own a product, own the marketing, own the sales, and own the profits. And then we have said that this is about you becoming a business owner. Ownership, that is where you own the process from the very design level up to the point where you make a sale. And when you make a sale, it should not be where you are just owning it, making a sale for other people, but that you are one of the stakeholders who are actually called in business a shareholder. And in most cases, you have to be a major shareholder of the sales that you make out of your product or products or services. So we are basically talking about you becoming a business owner. And we are saying that we need to move from product development to putting money into your pocket. So this I have coined it as the product trinity. That is product development, product marketing, and product sales. And we are saying that the one that actually acts as a monster for many of us who have been able to develop a product so far is the aspect of marketing. It's how do you market your product, and not only marketing, but also the fact that you have to take your product to the right market so that it gives you the rewards that you require. Of course, there are also those who are still at the level of wondering, how do I develop my product? And the aspect of how do you develop your product, I know there are a lot of people who are grappling with that aspect. But other than that, there are also those who are grappling with the aspect of product marketing. And beyond that, of course, when you market nicely, then the aspect of product sales becomes simpler. And we established that on how to develop, market, and sell your product. We started by talking about us first and foremost using God's heaven, earth creation trinity for your product development, marketing, and sales. And this is where, according to Proverbs chapter 3, verse 19 to 20, I believe now you are now familiar with that verse, and also Proverbs 24, verse 3 to 5, that by wisdom, God was able to build the earth. Through understanding, he established the heavens, and through knowledge, he was able to make divisions in the earth, and was able to make dew drop on the earth. And that what we see with our eyes, and even those things that we don't see, God was able to use the three components: wisdom, understanding, and knowledge, to put things in place. And this is where we've established that for you to build a business house, you have to use the same components, because the same components which are talked about, which God used in Proverbs chapter 3, verse 19 to 20, are the same components that we are told in Proverbs 24, verse 3 to 5, that by wisdom a house is built. And we have said that this house is a business house. By wisdom, a business house is built. Through understanding, it is established. Through knowledge, the business house has rare and precious treasures. Again, please, that is not what Proverbs 24 is saying. It is not talking about a business house. I am the one who is substituting where there is simply house. I'm calling it business house in the context of our discussion on product development, marketing, and sales. I'm just taking you through this as a recap to what we have done so far. Number two, we talked about know the two sides of the why of the product development, marketing, and sales with regard to benefits. And we came up with the two big product questions. What are the perceived benefits to you as the producer of the product? And what are the perceived benefits to the consumers or buyers of your product? And we have been saying that you have to make sure that your product is of benefit to you and to the consumers. Actually, this afternoon, I went into Suarez town with my daughter Ebenezer, because we needed to work on some of our phones so that they help us facilitate this facilitate this training. And we had to go and look for somebody who is able to work on phones. I remember Ebenezer's front camera hasn't been working. And so we went, and also my other phone also has the problem. And we went to do quite, we went, I think, with about 4 or 5 phones that we wanted to be worked on. What basically made us go to that man was the value that he has, because we wanted the benefit. What was the benefit? We wanted to make sure that our phones are improved, and when they are improved, we could be able to be efficient and effective in the way we serve you, our participants. That is the aspect about why customers want to leave their home and then take money. And basically, yes, we have been able to live. I was thinking through and saying, how much have we left with that man? We left quite some good amount of kwachas, and even tomorrow, hopefully, we'll be going. We left another phone for him to work on, and we may take to him again more kwachas. So the whole point is basically that if you have a value, you'll be going to pick money from people's pockets without them calling you a thief. The third point we talked about is that you should know why you should develop, market, and sell a product or service. I think we have talked about a man called Simon Sinek, who has said that you need to start with why. And this is why we have talked about the product benefit trinity. This is where we are talking about impact, results, and outcomes. It is actually at impact, results, and outcomes that basically a sale is made, because people are looking for what a product or a service is going, what impact or results or outcomes a product or a service is going to bring into their lives. And then we went further to talk about value. Don't devalue your value. Value your value highly. And I've been citing an example of people who have devalued their value. It's employees. In the equation, profit is equal to revenue minus cost. When you locate yourself as an employee in the cost position, it means that you have actually given yourself a lesser value than that value which you'll be able to put on yourself. If you placed yourself in the equation, profit is equal to revenue minus cost in the profit position. Yesterday, I was listening to one man of God who was talking about unlimited wealth, and as he was sharing, he actually said that a statement that is relevant to our discussion. He actually said that in God's plan, I'm just paraphrasing the way I understood what he said. He said, in God's plan, when he has planned it such that his provision to us is unlimited. But then when you go to become an employee, it means you lock up. It only gives you sustenance, in short. It only makes you go forward in terms of giving you what you need to pay other people. I think for those of you who have read the book, The Richest Man in Babylon, if you have not read it, you can search for it on YouTube. Get a book, The Richest Man on Babylon, or listen to some YouTube messages there. And also the man, Robert Kiyosaki, has also used the same idea of the richest man in Babylon to talk about his book, The Rich Dad, Poor Daddy. He has actually, the richest man in Babylon has talked about paying yourself first. The principle of paying yourself first is that you first of all look at how much are you going to bring to yourself in terms of income, as opposed to how much are you going to pay out there. For example, when we buy electricity, when we buy, we pay for water, we pay for many other things. Most of them are on the consumption side. But if we are getting our resources and then we are spending them for the purpose of investment, where we multiply them, we first of all get a profit. And out of that profit, we now are able to pay for water, to pay for electricity. Then in that case, we are paying ourselves first. So the principle in the richest man in Babylon book is that you need to pay yourself first. And again, yesterday, even today, I think I was looking at how much am I paying myself first compared to how much I am paying others first. And I think you'd realize that a good number of us might be culprits in this area. And that's why in most cases, we run what are called the deficit, we run what are called deficit budgets. So basically, we need to go into an aspect where we pay ourselves first. And so in our expenditures, we have to start by an aspect of how much revenue is this expenditure going to bring to me, so that out of it, I can now be able to pay others out of the profit that I've been able to make. So that's that about valuing your value. Don't buy your value, buy your value highly. And then we talked about aiming for product sales as the ultimate. Again, when you have a product or a service, you should aim to sell it. Like I've been saying, my products now, every now and then my dreams are, how am I going to sell my marriage book? How am I going to sell it? For example, I've already put this book on Amazon. I've also put the Employer in You book on Amazon. But then in the long run, I have to make sure that I create my own e-commerce and be able to sell so that people can be able to put money into my pocket by directly wiring that money into my account. So that's that you have to aim for product sales. And also we talked about be conscious of being a problem solver using your value. And I think this to me is a big topic that you and I were born problem solvers, and that our God actually demonstrates in Genesis chapter 1, verse 2 as a problem solver. God was faced with a challenge of formlessness of the earth, and also emptiness, and darkness covered the surface of the waters. And then God came up with his model of problem solving by first of all dealing with light, which we have equated or said is equivalent to knowledge. Start with knowledge. Every form of business you want to go into, get knowledge. First get knowledge, and you use knowledge, and then understanding. You use this in order for you to apply wisdom, which gives us the how. Basically, yes, this is what we have said, that you were born a problem solver. So when God created you, according to Genesis chapter 1, verse 26, he said, let us make man in our own image, after our own likeness. It means that God was making you to be a problem solver. And this is where I emphasize the fact that please quit the camp of complainers. People who are full of complaints every now and then. They are always looking for news on how bad the economy is and so forth. No, see the problems in the economy and say, what product am I going to develop, or what product or service am I going to develop, and go into to solve that economic problem in your country, in your nation, and even global. Some of these solutions, like my solutions on training and books and so on, I'm not only looking at Zambia as the only market. No, I'm looking at a global market. So be a contributor to your economy. not just a person who specializes in complaining. No, especially for those of you who are children of God, please quit the camp of people who are into complaining, who spend time on campfires complaining, getting statistics to complain. No, you were born a problem solver. And I remember last time we looked at, for those of you who are on Zoom, we looked at this diagram, which is giving us, it says, for those of you who are watching from Facebook, I'll just have to read, and then you can imagine what I'm talking about. It is from product development to sales and wealth ownership. I concentrated on this, and I would love to spend a few minutes on this because this is quite dear. It summarizes a good amount of what I'm talking about in terms of from product development to putting money into your pocket. And putting money into your pocket is wealth ownership, so that when you own that wealth, you can be able to distribute it. And from what we looked at, we're saying that you have problems or challenges. That is what you have. If you draw your triangle, for those of you who are watching me on Facebook, you draw a triangle, and from the base of the triangle, you put problems stroke challenges. Then problems from challenges, they give you what are called business opportunities. Look for the window of opportunity in those problems, including the problems of your economy in your country or globally. Let these problems or challenges give you and I business opportunities. Let's look for the window of opportunities. And from these business opportunities, we come up with business ideas. And from business ideas, we now develop business visions to solve that problem. This is why I'm saying, please don't concentrate on complaining. Look for problems, of course, and look for them in order for you to find business opportunities, windows of opportunity for undertaking business given those problems. Because if there's no problem, then there's no business. So the way God made the earth and is such that there has to be a problem in order for you to solve. Because what is business anyway? Business is about you and I solving someone's problem. Like the other day, I went to one of the ladies in our neighborhood who sells groceries, and I went and I wanted to solve a problem at home, and that problem I had not even planned to have it. But when it availed itself, I went to this person, and this person was thanking God. I said, "Give me this amount of the commodity I wanted." And the person just said, "Oh, I thank God that you have brought me this money." I said, "Yes, one man's problem is another person's business opportunity." So you have to develop business ideas from the business opportunities that problems or challenges avail, and then you have a business vision. Then you go into production. You now produce a product. So the question that we all, I believe now, as we have been following, is we need to ask ourselves. Like I remember one of the participants on this asking me a question: what product do I own? So that is the question you need to ask yourself. What product do I own? And who needs this product? And how much can this product give me? How much income can this product bring into my pocket or into my wallet or whatever you may call it? That is by you paying yourself first. Which are the areas within which I can be able to invest my dollar, or is it my kwacha, or whatever you may call your money into your country or your currency. So then you go into the aspect of you coming up with a product, and then you go now into marketing, and from marketing you go into monetization. This is sales. And this is where we are saying you own the sales. And then you also own the what, the profits or the dividends, and that is how you go into wealth ownership. And when you own the wealth, then you can be able now to get into an aspect of you becoming a wealth distributor. Again, last night I was listening to one lady who was sharing something that, you see, her attitude about wealth, especially wealth people, prevented her from becoming wealthy. Because every time she was always complaining that, you see, wealthy people are stingy people, wealthy people get money from the poor, and she went on and went on and went on. But then when she changed her perspective and viewed wealth from a particular perspective, that when you have wealth, it gives you the capacity, like I said the last time we met, that it takes you into what is called corporate social responsibility. You go into the highest level of wealth, which is wealth distribution. So we are not talking about wealth just for the sake of you having it. No, we are talking about you having wealth so that this wealth can be able to be distributed. So the points that I looked at, I think, which we looked at quickly before we had ended last time, was look at your product as a solution in the marketplace. That is your value offer. So I believe from what I've already talked about, it emphasizes this, this point that your product is a solution, your product or a service is a solution in the marketplace. That is your value offer, so that the other people can give you their value, and this value, we exchange it in form of money. Then we also talked about, briefly talked about, use problems around and beyond to solve market challenges. I think what I've talked about in our in the triangle we're talking about points out to this effect. And then this is the other point: use God's problem-solving approach to come up with market solutions. And this, again, I've already talked about it. God in Genesis chapter 1, verse 2, when he was faced with the problem of light, the problem of formlessness, the problem of formlessness, the problem of emptiness, and the problem of darkness, he started with light first, and then he went to what? He went to populating the earth, and from populating the earth, he then created form. It was form which he was able to start by saying it is good, and then he moved on saying good, 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 until finally in Genesis chapter 1, verse 31, God had to behold all he had created, and he said it was very good. So even you and I, we have to use this problem-solving approach to come up with market solutions. And also we have been emphasizing Isaiah 46, verse 10, that God sees the end from the beginning, and we have said that end is in form of impacts, outcomes, and impacts, outcomes, and results. So then when we are looking at the outcomes and results, like I've always said, the Chokwe saying that they don't say, I am going to school. In Chokwe, they say, Kushiko lango nai. So you start with the school in mind. That is how God does things. Even you and I, in our product development, marketing, and sales, let us think like the way Chokwe would think in terms of traveling to school. You start by saying, to school, I am going. Kushikolangonai. So they don't say, I am going to school, but they instead say, to school, I am going. And if we can approach the challenges and the problems that we have in the marketplace around us and even beyond, like I was saying, with the aspect of globalization, and also the aspect of technology. We can, yes, start by looking at problems that surround us, but also even problems that are beyond, because technology and globalization has helped us actually to make people who are thousands of kilometers away to look like they are just a meter away from us. Just like I can see people from different countries where they are able to watch me as though we are together in the same room. So basically, the whole problem, the whole issue, I think I've already talked about this point for those of you who are seeing it from Zoom. And I've said, rise to the occasion to be a problem solver, quit the complaining camp. Quit the complaining camp. I must tell you that I fell into this complaining camp at a given point, and almost every day we're complaining with my friends. We complained and complained and complained about this one, about that, and until I reached a stage where I said, oh God, forgive me. I've not been doing the right thing, especially as a servant of God and one whom you created in your own image, after your own likeness. Forgive me. From today onwards, I have quit the complaining camp. Mine would be look out for problems and ask myself, which problem can I be able to solve? So we said that you need to go and solve problems. Go solve problems. And that's what God brought us here on earth. In Genesis chapter 1, verse 28, when God, after creating man in verse 27, he capacitated man. I think we have already talked about this in the past, that he capacitated man with capacity to go and do business. He blessed man and he said, go and do business in the earth. And he told man to say, go, be fruitful. After being fruitful, multiply your fruit. After multiplying your fruit, what should you do next? Fill the earth or replenish the earth. Then from there, subdue it, and then have what? Have dominion. That is an aspect of you specializing in problem solving. Entrepreneurs, actually, the whole basic aspect, I think, from a number of courses that I've done on entrepreneurship, it basically comes to the fact that an entrepreneur is not entrepreneur if he or she cannot solve problems. An entrepreneur is a problem solver, and God brought us here on earth, according to Genesis chapter 1, verse 28, to be problem solvers. He said, go and be fruitful, that is, be productive, and then multiply, that is, reproduce your fruit, multiply yourself. What I'm doing right away is a component of multiplication. I am multiplying myself globally. This is the mind of God, that you and I become problem solvers. So I am multiplying myself globally. People across the world are listening to me. Right away, there are those of you who are watching me on Zoom. There are also those who are watching me on Facebook. And then we are able to get these products, take them on YouTube and a lot of platforms. Those are platforms for multiplication. And we go into these platforms in order for us to solve problems, because we are problem solvers. And maybe you could be asking, what problem have I decided to solve? I have decided to solve a problem of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. That if I can get a window of opportunity in the market and then design my products into products that I can be able to teach the market on issues of wisdom, understanding, and knowledge. And these are issues that are connected to you becoming a business owner. I believe there are men and women out there who are looking for such type of solutions. So go solve problems, because you were born a problem solver. And also the other aspect is that you need to imitate God by having confidence in your product. Be the first to say it is good. I picked this from Genesis chapter 1, and even my products, people have been saying, no, please, you need to make sure they are perfected. Yes, we should aim for perfection. But even God himself, according to Genesis 1 verse 2, he did not start with perfection. In this book of mine, The Employer in You, I think I should have already mentioned it, that I have put in a paragraph where I've said the enemy called perfection. You need to conquer the enemy called perfection. God started with imperfection, according to Genesis 1 verse 2, with formlessness, with the emptiness, and also with the darkness. But then from there, he started with light, and his development of his product called the earth was progressive. So even your product and my product development, and even marketing and sales, it is progressive, please. Don't start from perfection. Start from imperfection. Even a child, as it starts walking, one of the grandchildren who just started walking some 2 weeks ago, we were even saying, oh yes, go ahead. But as she's starting to walk, she's able to fall and so on. But then what you are able to see in such a girl is a woman, a big woman, starting small. So basically, imitate God by having confidence in your product. So when God created his product, he did not go and consult people to find out whether his product was good. No, he was the first one who said it is good. The next he said it is good. The next he said it is good. The next he said it is good. And then in Genesis 1 verse 31, it is God himself who said it is very good. Please imitate God by having confidence in your product or your service, and be the first to say to your product, it is good. I think maybe just to conclude, I'll make you maybe laugh on how I got into music. One of my products is gospel music. And when I was being told, no, your voice is not good enough to sing, I said, if no one will like my music, I'll be the only one who like my music. I will imitate God. I will love my music. And that is quite true. I love my music, and I listen to my music like nobody's business. I think I listen to my music almost 90-something%, because that is my product. I needed to have confidence in my product. So as you develop, market, and sell your product, please imitate God by having confidence in your product. Be the first to call it, to say my product is good, and move from saying good to very, very good. We end here for now, and for those of you on Zoom, you may briefly, maybe for some, we shall have some few